Hello everybody, it's Maikito, and quickly going over last video's picks. It was a 4-3 day when it comes to the YouTube picks. Could have done better. Colombia money line hit. I also said that you want to take some extra value, you could take the -1.5, and that one hit as well. They won 5-0, absolutely destroyed them. Netherlands money line against Turkey hit as well. Araujo lower than 1.5 fouls. That one was actually kind of unfortunate for him. He had one foul and then he got injured and he got subbed out. But he did hit for us because he had one. He still stayed under. And then Verbruggen hired in 2 saves. Some debate whether he should have had 3 or 2. He ended with 2, so that one was a push. And then Mulder lower than 0.5 shots attempted. That one hit for us as well. Our misses were Xavi Simons hired in 0.5 shots on target. He took 1 shot and it was not on target. Unfortunate for us. Michel lower than 0.5 shots. He took 1 long shot out of nowhere. So that was unexpected. Should have hit for us. And then Foden, who, again, never trusting England players. He only had 1 shot, and he played way more of a playmaker role than what I expected him to be, which is a reason why he missed. But it was a 4-3 day. Again, should have done better. It was still not a bad day. Don't get me wrong, 4-3. It's just that I expect at least like a 5-2 day or something like that. Just 1 pick away. If Verbruggen would have hit, could have been an even better day and stuff like that. So it was just unfortunate. And then the last 2 days, there was no videos. There was 1 day with MLS picks, but again, I'm just not really messing with MLS right now, especially because some of their players are on international duty with their country and stuff like that. But there's 2 semifinal games tomorrow. We have Spain versus France and then Argentina versus Canada. And I did find some picks that I did like, so we'll get straight into those. My first pick is Dani Olmo to go higher than 1.5 shots, playing for Spain going up against France. He's played 4 games and has gone over in 3 out of the 4 games, and he actually hasn't started any of the games. All of his games have came off the bench. He had 1 against Croatia. That was the first game. He only played 31 minutes and had 1. And then he had 4 versus Albania, where he actually, my bad, he did start that game. He started that game and he had 4 where he played the full game. And then he had 6 shots in 38 minutes against Georgia. He only played 38 minutes. It was a weaker team, but he still managed to get 6 shots off. And then he came off the bench against Germany, which he pretty much did play the full game because he got subbed in 8 minutes in due to an injury. And against a tough Germany side, he had 3 shots. And like I mentioned, because of Pedri's injury, he will be starting instead of coming off the bench and stuff like that. He's an attacking midfielder, and 7 out of his 14 shots that he's taken this tournament have been from outside the box. So it shows you that he's not afraid to shoot, which is always what we like to see. And he's also a great playmaker, so he's pivotal. He'll be a pivotal part to that Spain attack and stuff like that. And he's going to be playing next to Fabian Ruiz and Rodri, who are going to be both very, very likely to be playing the deeper midfielders. So he's going to be the one that's going to be able to more freely go up in the attack and be able to find those opportunities to shoot, which again is good for us. And Lamine Yamal and Nico Williams are going to be on the wings, and they're going to be taking up a lot of the attention. So it's going to be a good spot for him to find space outside the box or in between defenders and take those shots. He's not going to be like the main threat that they're looking at, which is going to be a big mistake. I can see him being scoring or getting an easy assist because even with Morata up top, they're going to have the defenders on Morata so that he can't make runs. And then you're going to have the fullbacks on Yamal and Nico, so he's going to be able to find that space and stuff like that. And when you look at him in the league, per 90 he averaged 2.79, so we just need him to take 2. He's been hitting this mark consistently off the bench, and now that he's starting, I don't care that it's France. I know he has the capabilities to take in those shots. He's going to find the space. I like Dani Olmo to go higher than 1.5 shots. My next play, it's his teammate. It's Nacho Fernandez to go higher than 3.5 clearances. He's played 2 games and he's gone over in both of those games. He played against Croatia, started against Croatia, and he went over with 4. And then he came off the bench, played 75 minutes against Germany and went over with 6. And then when you look at the actual clearances themselves, in the first game against Croatia, out of the 4 clearances, 2 were with his feet, the other 2 were with his head. And then in the second game, out of the 6 against Germany, 4 out of the 6 were clearances with his feet, which I'm mentioning that for a very important reason. That's because he's going to be playing right center back. His teammate is going to be his center back next to him is going to be Laporte. We know he's going to play on the left because he's left-footed, which means we know Nacho is going to play on the right. And another reason why I like that is because usually they would have Carvajal next to him guarding Mbappe, but because Carvajal got injured that game, now it's going to be Jesus Navas. And while Jesus Navas is a great defender, he is a lot older and not as fast as he used to be. So Nacho is going to have to be there to help them cut off Mbappe runs on that left flank. Mbappe is a really quick player, so I can easily see him going out helping Navas. He beats Navas. Nacho's gonna run in there and like just clear the ball, hit it out because France like to press, so it's going to be harder for him to try to pass it if he gets it back. So I can easily see him trying to clear the ball when not Mbappe is going to be there trying to exploit that Navas, which I see them doing. And he can also easily get headed clearances off corners, or even Dembele on the opposite side of his flank, crossing it into Mbappe or Thuram or Colomwani, whoever's in the box. I can see him getting headed clearances from those crosses, and again him getting them from corners. So I think that's a good spot. He's gone over in both of the games he's played, and now they can't take any chances against this France side. While they have been a little lackluster in the attack, it's still France, and they've still gone through for a reason. So like Nacho do a higher than 3.5 clearances. My next pick on the France side, it is Adrien Rabiot to go higher than 0.5 shots. He's gone over in 2 out of the 4 games that he's played. He went over against the Netherlands and Belgium, 2 good teams. When he went over in these games, he was left mid / left winger when he played against the Netherlands, and he was an attacking midfielder when he played against Belgium. And the 2 games where he went under, he was playing as one of the 2 defending midfielders against Austria. And he came off early against Poland and went under because he had a yellow card. But now he just came back from a suspension. He didn't play the last game against Portugal because the game before that, whenever they played Poland, he got a second yellow, which means he had to miss the Portugal game. So now he's back in the game, and I expect him to play full minutes just like he did against the Netherlands and Belgium. And the reason why is because since he's off of the suspension, the rules is when you get the second yellow card, like in a separate game, then you get suspended for the next game. But now that it's the semifinals, he can be aggressive. If he gets a yellow card this game, doesn't matter if he gets a yellow card if they make it to the final, because that is the final, so he can't get suspended for that game. So I expect him to come back into the squad. He's a very underrated player in my opinion. He's going to be there full 90, and we just need him to take one shot. He's gone over 2 out of 4, and he's going to very likely be playing next to Kante and Chouameni, which makes him the attacking midfielder or the box-to-box one that's going to be able to move up and down. And the reason why we know that is because very good chance Griezmann is going to be on the bench after a great performance that Dembele had off the bench. He was man of the match off the bench in the last game against Portugal. So we're expecting Dembele to start with Mbappe, which means you're going to need the striker up top with them, which is going to be either Thuram or Colomwani, which means that Griezmann is going to have to unfortunately be on the bench. So Rabiot is going to be the attacking midfielder, which is good for us. We just need him to take one shot. All of the shots that he's taken so far have been in regular play, which means he'll shoot when they're on the run. A cut back to him, he'll shoot from outside the box. We just need at least one ball to fall to him, whether it's Dembele cutting it back to Rabiot. Rabiot will take that shot. He'll shoot with either foot or a header off a corner and stuff like that. We just need him to take one shot, and him playing full minutes against Spain, he's going to be an attacking midfielder. I like this mark. We just need Adrien Rabiot to go higher than 0.5 shots. My next play is Lionel Messi to go higher than 2.5 shots assisted, playing for Argentina going up against Canada. Originally, I was going to take his shots at 3.5, which you still can take if this one gets bumped or taken off or something like that. But I actually changed it, and I like 2.5 shots assisted more, and I'll tell you why here in a bit. He's gone over in 2 out of 3 games he's played. He went over against one of them. He's playing Canada right now, and the first game was against Canada, and he went over. He had 6. He went over against them, and he went over against them against Chile. The only game he went under in was against Ecuador, and that was because after the first half, Argentina were much more a second half, and I don't expect that to happen again just because they were really close to being eliminated. They had to go all the way to penalties, and then playing defensive in the second half trying to hold that lead was just extremely dangerous, trying to allowing the other team to press them, which I don't expect them to let that happen again and make the same mistake again. He had 5 against Canada, and the reason why I like this is because if you don't know, this is something you wouldn't know unless you actually keep up with stuff. He has a good relationship with Lautaro Martinez, his striker. Lautaro has spoke about how important Messi's leadership is to him and helping him regain his confidence, especially after the last World Cup. And there's also been said that ever since Messi won the World Cup, and he has said himself that he wants to enjoy his play now that he has nothing to win anymore. He's done everything. He's been much more of a playmaker and wants to be much more of a leader to his teammates when it comes to just giving them confidence. So this whole tournament, he's been more of a playmaker as opposed to him trying to score the goals himself. So I can easily see him. I feel like he's going to be prioritizing more passing it to his teammates and letting them make their chances instead of him trying to emphasize himself. And he's also a set piece taker. And if it's a long free kick, he'll cross it in. If it's a corner, he's the one who's going to be there as well. And he's really good at getting through balls. And the 19 shots that they had against Canada in the first game, he either took, like, shot or assisted 11 out of the 19. So he is very pivotal to this Argentinian attack. And again, I feel like he's gonna be more of a playmaker than anything in this game, unless they start struggling and they can't score. So I just think this is a good mark for him. Overall, in like just a normal season, he averaged a little over 2. We just need him to get that third, and I think he will. He already went way over this mark against him the first time. I like Lionel Messi to go higher than 2.5 shots assisted. This goes well. Blends right into my next pick. They correlate very good. It is Lautaro Martinez to go higher than 2.5 shots. He has, out of the games that he's played, the first game, he had 2 shots. He only played 14 minutes. He scored a goal against Canada. In the next game, he only played 17 minutes, took 3 shots, and had a goal against Chile. And then he started against Peru. He had 4 shots, and 2 of them were goals against Peru. And the only reason why he didn't go over against Ecuador was because they were being defensive in the second half. So he unfortunately only got 1. But you can see that he's gone over in 3 out of the 4 games, and two of them coming off the bench. So I think it's a good spot for him. I mentioned earlier his relationship with Messi, and not just that, he's going to be getting good passes from the likes of DePaul, McAllister, and Enzo Fernandez and stuff like that. And when you look at his stats on the regular league, he averaged 3.64 shots per 90. So he's a shooter. If he gets the opportunities, he's going to take them. And he's really good at making runs and going in behind defenders. And with those through balls he's going to be receiving from his teammates, it's a good spot for him to go over. Again, he had 2 against Canada with just 14 minutes, and now he's gonna start. So it's a good opportunity for him. He's also gonna be there in the box when it comes to those corners or the set pieces and stuff like that. And he had 1 friendly when he played pretty much the same lineup that they're gonna play this next game with Messi and Lautaro up top. And in that game, he had 5 shots. It was against Guatemala, a much weaker defense, but they still took 19 shots against them. They took 19 shots against Canada. So I think it just correlates well, and I think he's going to have plenty of chances. And I think this is a good spot for him to go over. I like Lautaro Martinez to go higher than 2.5 shots. I want to give a quick shout out to my partner Underdog Fantasy. You can use code Maikito in the description. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. And then also have the memberships for those that are interested in those. It's just for those that want to get the content out earlier before anybody else, to try to avoid potential bumps or plays getting taken away. And then I also have my Cashapp and my Fliff linked in the description if you guys want to use those. Anything you do is very much appreciated. And if you could like the video, comment as well. It helps boost the video out to more people. And if you're subscribed, please turn on notifications. That way you know exactly when these videos come out. And I really appreciate and want to thank anybody who supports me in any way. And then my last play on the Canada side, it is Sayo Larin to go lower than 0.5 shots on target. He's gone under in 2 out of 4 games. He went under against Argentina the first game, which is good for us, and he went under against Peru. The games where he went over, he had 1 against Chile, and that was from a corner, and he went over with 1 against Venezuela, and that was off a fast break. And I'd say that how he got the shots, because for example against Chile, when he got off a corner, whenever Canada played Argentina, they only had 4 corners, so very, very low chance that he can get it again, especially for it to be on target is going to be difficult. And I don't see them getting fast breaks. I see a lot of Argentina possession this next game, and he barely even touches the ball. If you look at his the games he's had this tournament against Argentina, he had 26 touches. Out of those 26, 12 of those were passes and no shots. And then against Peru, he had 21 touches. 2 of them were shots and 12 of them were passes. And then against Chile, he had 20 touches, he had 2 shots and 15 passes. And then finally, this last game against Venezuela, he had 32 touches, 2 shots, 12 passes. So it shows you that he either, when he receives the ball, he's either going to take a touch, pass, or take a touch, shoot, or as soon as he gets it, he's going to pass. Pretty much he's not going to be one to create his own chances. He has to rely on his teammates giving him the ball for him to be able to take a shot. And like I said, it's going to be a lot of Argentinian possession, and I don't see them getting many opportunities and stuff like that. So I just think this is a good spot. He already went over the first game, and he's also been subbed out and got out of the game in all 4 games that he's played. In the 4 games, he got subbed out after 80 minutes, 82 minutes, 76 minutes, and 72 minutes. And 2 out of the 7 shots, he's taken 7 shots this tournament. Only 2 of those were on target. So even if he does shoot, I don't think it's a good chance that it even goes on target in the first place. And it's a good chance he gets subbed out anyways. And if you look at his stats in the league, in La Liga, out of the 69 shots that he took, 26 of those were on target. So that's like about a third of a chance. So if he even manages to get a shot against Argentina, there's a low chance that it's going to be on target. And they're going to be playing this tough Argentine defense that they just learned. They're going to learn from the mistakes against Ecuador. They can't let the same things happen again. So like Sayo Larin to go lower than 0.5 shots on target. Thank you everybody for watching. There's 2 good games tomorrow, two semifinal games. I'm going to be watching both of them. I think it's going to be a good spot for us. If I do add any added plays, you can check out the YouTube description. That is where I add them. I might not add some, I might add them. It just depends if the lineups are different than what I anticipate them to be, or if lines change and I like them better than what they were at before. But other than that, I hope everybody has a good night, a good day. We can cash out tomorrow.